Welcome to Truck Tech. I'm Thomas Wasson, and today we're going to be diving into not only technologies, but the technologies that help trucks in terms of routing. And the folks at Here Technologies we're going to be talking with in a moment. So I like to talk about innovations for things that go on the truck, but you can only go so far without having a guide of where to go. And so it's just as important to talk with the folks who are pioneering and innovating in the technology space. And so one of the big things, if anyone has worked in trucking or in the tech space, is it can be really difficult to find the right roads. And if you've ever seen some instances of trucks going through low-hanging bridges and getting a haircut, the consequences of not having good routing and good routing tech can be disastrous. And so we're going to talk about some recent innovations. Without further ado, let's welcome on our guest. It is Bart Coppelmans, Senior Director of Product Management, Business Unit Head of Enterprise Products at Here. How you doing today, Bart? Sorry, there's a long title on there, but super excited to have you on and talking about what y'all have been cooking up.
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Thanks for having me. And it's great to be here. And I think you gave already a great intro of what we have on the truck, indeed, and to deliver and to contribute to the industry to keep drivers safe and more efficient in terms of executing their journeys.
And tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us some background and what you do at Here.
Yeah. Yeah, happy to. So yeah, indeed, my name is Bart. I'm heading up product for our enterprise business unit within Here. For the ones who don't know, Here in general, we are the world leader in digital mapping and location intelligence for automotive mobility and the transport logistics market. 40 years ago, we started with digital mapping of one area, and that's basically what we expand today. We have global coverage of our mapping and location services, and we really set the standard for transport logistics maps globally, but also rich location and software services. Moving into the vehicle with software-defined vehicle, also commercial vehicles, and also back office automation. And in general, what we are doing at Here, if you look at kind of what we are covering within our enterprise product suite, mainly we are supporting our customers with every critical step of their business process and operations, from planning to execution to analytics. And for that, we have different services and applications connecting really that journey across their different business processes, right? That you are able to, what you plan, also are able to execute, and that what you are executing and encounter something on the journey and on the go, that you also then incorporate that as a feedback loop into the back office and not encounter that another time when planning for the next journey and next cycle. And location in general, I think that's what we are doing as a company, is right at the center of many emerging markets customer needs, and that's also what we showcased at recent events, and also in our vision for Here in terms of the next generation, what we call live maps, which includes also a closed data and map update feedback loop, really connecting field with back office in the customer business processes.
Talk to me a little bit about the live data. This is really cool. I remember the challenges for maps is that as soon as you make a map, what if there's road construction? What if this bridge is closed? There's always something changing or messing with the map. Is that kind of the next innovation, is being able to have that faster feedback so you're kind of like not caught off guard if there's an infrastructure project or even like weather-related road closures?
100%, 100%, and that's why we call it also live maps, right? So what is extremely important for us to take a next step, right, as a company as well, we basically have the richest map and the richest location data set for specifically also transport logistics companies, but in a lot of cases, our map can also be outdated or incorrect, and that's basically what we are enabled now also with new products coming to life, which is WeGo Pro, for example, has a data feedback loop as well embedded into the application that customers are able to report, right, if certain things are missing in the map, and then also getting that kind of as a high priority on our end to process that in a more frequent, real-time, and automated fashion, and with the ability also of enabling new technologies like AI, right, in terms of the map making and really detect certain patterns, also incorporating many different probe points from such applications. That basically sets us apart, right? Where we can basically make sure that we can get to a more near real-time live map And again, right, also make sure that when a driver is encountering something on the job, right, that then also this is not wasted information or wasted data points, but that we leverage that in order to kind of make it better and incorporate that into our public map. But it can also be into private map layers for really if you have custom specific operations and want to tweak certain things in our map. That's also what we support then for our customer base.
And talk about this AI. I think they recently launched an AI assistant. I think that's really cool because I can imagine in the map space, it's not like roads. You don't just build a road and it can happen within a day. It takes a minute. So for the AI, it's a really nice structured environment of road networks that's been existently put in there. Talk about how you kind of use the AI to leverage it. What can the AI really do in terms of helping keep that data clean and finding some of these route changes?
Yeah. Yeah, happy to. So yeah, what we recently launched, so what you're referring to is the Here AI Assistant. And basically what we did there is created a proprietary generative AI vehicle guidance assistant. And what we are doing there is leveraging multiple generative AI large language learning models to deliver a natural language powered location aware guidance. And what we are able to do with that product is basically transform personalized travel planning and providing high quality instantaneous results on really complex location related queries. So for example, if you have a query to compute a route from Amsterdam to Paris, you can say, I want to have a route from Amsterdam to Paris with an electrical vehicle, add a stopover for lunch in the middle, combine it with an EV charging station, and look for a parking spot at destination. And with that, basically, we're able to handle multiple different and complex scenarios and fast search results, tapping into the deep, rich location data sets and services we have available on our platform today, such as EV, PY, truck routing, parking, traffic, to name a few. But to have that really fast as kind of a result into the journey you're on as a driver. So that's basically what we are able to do with the AI assistant. And then you can even have, even in terms of professional truck driver, if you have along the road, do a search query for truck driver facilities on the road if you're planning or have an upcoming driver break, and you want to combine certain things like a restaurant which you prefer or something like that, right? Go to the McDonald's if that's your kind of type of food you wanna get into. That's basically then what you're able to query, and that taps into the rich portfolio of data we have available, right, into our platform. And that's basically what we are embedding into the AI assistant. And what we are doing there, we will make that available, right, in different in our own applications. So you can also see that later this year becoming available through an application like WeGo Pro for professional drivers, to make sure that private drivers can stay safe, convenient in their journey. Coming back to the feedback loop, I think that's also worth mentioning. What we are currently doing as well is look at kind of how that same assistant in the future, right? That's a roadmap item where we can basically also make sure that there's a voice activated feedback loop through the AI assistant, and that they don't have to report manually by touching the screen, but also have that voice activated if there are certain roads closed or construction zones or anything other they encounter, that they can then do that via voice reporting live through the application itself. So
That's really cool because I know from my experiences, there's been fuel routers. You'll get your route and then it'll just tell you when to stop for fuel. But oftentimes the drivers, when I speak with them, they say, well, I just keep going. And when I'm down to like 2 hours, I start thinking, man, I really need to find somewhere. And so now we have, through the AI and through this technology, you're able to say, look, I'm starting at the Netherlands, for instance. I know that Paris traffic is really bad. Can you find me an open truck stop nearby with a nice restaurant, and then make sure I can make it happen? And that's where we're getting now with the capabilities with this kind of generative AI, right? It's able to pull through all of this data set and help you make the plans instead of you having to do 5 different tasks.
correct. That's exactly correct. So we're really eliminating the manual task and manual search, right? And 5 different search requests and results you need to do. If you do it, we do it in without generative AI. Yeah, that's correct.
And for the fuel management, is it sophisticated enough to, I'm assuming, find the best places to fuel? I can look up, hey, I want the cheapest truck stop for petrol or something, or I want to get the best location for recharging. Are we kind of at that capability now where it can help fleets save money, or will it just kind of give you a generalized, here's a few stops?
No, so yeah, when the information is available, of course, in our data sets, like fuel prices we have as well, toll costs we have as well, right? In our data, in location, in our platform as well. When the data is available in our platform, we are able to also then manifest this through an AI result and a search result as well, and query that. So even down to the specifics of price levels or certain things which are around the POI, the truck stop, right? Availability, or how busy it is on certain time of day, those kind of things. When that is available in our points in our database, then we are able to also then manifest that through the search results as well.
And let's talk about, in order to have all this data, you need to have servers and horsepower to calculate all of that. You also had recently announced earlier this year a partnership with AWS. Tell us a little bit about that. I know on the AI side, either people tell me I need a heck of a lot of compute or I need a heck of a lot of power to feed these hungry processing units. What is the AWS partnership? How's that going to help in terms of feeding and fueling this AI?
Yeah, that's a good intro already, which you gave there, right? So here, technology and AWS are collaborating already for a longer time, and basically the announcement what we just made is a very long collaboration between each other, companies that we combine the strengths of our location, data, and services with really leading cloud and IT services to address the challenges, location-related challenges for supply chain, transport, logistics industry worldwide. So that's where we basically leverage AWS also services, and vice versa. AWS is leveraging our location also data and services through their channels to improve the routing optimization, really provide enterprise grade location data for their ecosystem. So basically, that's what the partnership is about. And then we have certain also innovation areas like AI. Of course, we are collaborating on together to leverage their expertise as well as the different areas for further expanding into the supply chain. For example, like advanced visibility, software-defined vehicle as well into the vehicle itself. So there are a couple of streams we are collaborating with each other. But indeed, as you say, right, with our vast amount of data we're having and we are processing as part of the portfolio collecting different type of probe and sensor data sets, we need to have also an infrastructure which supports such large volumes of data and processing and turn that into rich information, which is not an easy job to do. So that's why we are collaborating extensively with them.
And I'm kind of curious as well. A lot of the vehicles now, trucks on the road, commercial vehicles, they have a whole bunch of telematics and sensors, IoT devices. I can tell everything from tire wear, tread depth. Is that something for here? Is that kind of the current or the next frontier where it'd be like, hey, I want to plug into that and I'm going to help you with the routing, but at the same time, you're helping give me feedback on all of these vehicle things that'll help yourself and others through this routing. Is that kind of where we're turning these vehicles into like mobile data collection to help provide that continuous improvement?
Yeah, 100%. So that's what we are currently already doing, right? So we're leveraging that certain of these data sets already as of today to create also advanced services out of that, whether it's traffic, whether it's kind of also EV vehicle profiles, routing models, consumption profiles, those kind of things. So that's something we are collaborating extensively with also commercial vehicle OEMs, but as well also fleet, let's say telematics companies who are collecting vast amount of also sensor data from the vehicle. And for us, it's basically the ability to combine search also data with rich location data sets and even create more advanced predictive models out of it, right? Also machine learning models out of it. And that's basically what we are currently doing also with moving into EV, moving into parking, moving into at different areas to become more sustainable, to become more efficient as an industry as a whole. And for us, it's really important, right? Because it's let's say making the connection of what happens in the vehicle, right, in order to kind of with the back office, with planning and analytics, right? Only looking at the vehicle itself and the data, and then looking at vehicle maintenance is one thing. But if you put it into an overall process of end-to-end operations, this is where we come in as a company and can provide kind of more value-added services in order for kind of planning, predictive ETA, dynamic conditions, optimize multi-stop tours, and more advanced analytics as well to compare how companies are doing in their operations compared to what they planned for.
So with the analytics side, I'm assuming, let's say I'm a commercial fleet and I run a few different routes. And when I bid on the lanes, I expected that I'd get a good deal and I would make these times. But with the analytics now, I can find that my trucks have been routinely delayed 1 or 2 extra hours. And I can now go back and say, look, you said it for this. This is what my data is telling me. We got to come up with a plan because help me help you help yourself.
Correct. Correct. And that's what we are doing as well. I'm not sure. We recently had also an announcement what we're currently doing with Hapag-Lloyd in terms of fleet monitoring and transport monitoring. So basically, we have a collaboration with them for specific transport monitoring and monitoring of their containers, also, and then providing predictive machine learning models around it, also geofence-based notifications and alertings and analytics. And that's a very important piece, right? Because this is something where companies can get more insights in terms of what have I planned for in terms of the overall journey, and then do a transport corridor monitoring in terms of where are the deviations, but also contribute even to dwell analytics, compliance, also mechanisms or disputes, right, in terms of were they on time or not, but really have that accurate information at the tip of your operations.
That's really cool. Diving into that, especially on that drayage component on the ports, dealing with the containers, is that it can have about 3 or 4 different groups touch it, from where it's on the stack, off the stack, getting into a transload, getting onto a railhead, shipping out. Is that kind of something where having that analytics is helping customers find out, are you charging me too much for demurrage? Are you charging me too much for holding my containers? Are certain containers moving on certain? Is that one of the things where I guess it's kind of been a black hole in the past and now we're trying to shine a light on it?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I must say, right, not all of the data is kind of in our platform available. It's kind of, we really focus on location data sets and location data services, but this is a great example where combining really operational data set from a logistics service provider with location data can also deliver more predictive insight and analytics, right? Meaning, what I'm trying to say is that loading unloading time, or that kind of taking time from the operations into kind of where the containers are, in this case coming from and the logistics service providers, then this combining with our transport models and computation of ETAs, this is deliver you a next step, right? Compared to what you get from a general routing engine, right, or a mobility routing engine, right, from going from A to B, because you need to factor in that loading and loading times, and factoring that analytics also what has happened in the past, giving them a confidence scoring on it, which is then delivering the next level of value add for the companies.
And another cool thing with routing is one of the biggest questions that surprised me with the logistics field is even calculating how long the route is. Some people say Google Map miles, point to point miles, zip code to zip code miles in the US, different provider provided miles. Is that something where I guess having this kind of rich data can finally help us answer the question? Because if you're getting paid per mile and I'm getting shortchanged 30 miles because it's going around a city zone versus a point to point, is that something where I guess having a large thing like here's database really clears up the conversation?
100%. That's one of our secret sources of also working with us instead of one of the other providers you mentioned just now, and that's what sets us apart, right? We have really an enterprise grade map data with trust specific attributes, trust specific regulations, constraints, And basically that also then is taking into account a truck compliant route rather than a normal vehicle route, right? So this can deviate in kilometers and cost, but also in ETA. And you already mentioned it in your intro, right? A bridge strike for companies can result into 5, 6 figures kind of cost on their side, and that's basically what also why larger, bigger transport logistics companies and enterprises rely on our data sets and our map data to really support their planning and operations processes.
And looking at integrations as well, I know there's some of them, some platforms like Platform Science and others. For Here, is it something where fleets are using it, they download the Here app, or do you also help provide that back end for other routing? Or let's say Thomas has his own fleet and I want to partner with Here to use my TMS. Is that something where there's a lot of value through these partnerships? How's the best way to get the information out to these other participants?
Yeah, so we have different ways. So in general, we have a lot of companies in our partner ecosystem integrating already into their TMS, into their fleet management, into their visibility platforms or last mile systems, our maps and APIs, right, to compute a route or to optimize or to navigate. Or if you don't want to do a self-built in-house or utilize a partner, we also have recently launched for navigation specifically an application what we called Here We Go Pro, and basically that's off-the-shelf mobile navigation designed for really commercial fleet and professional truck drivers, which already comes with that high-quality truck-specific map data, road attributes, restrictions, alerts, real-time guidance, live traffic updates, really to have everything at the center to make sure you can do route planning in and execution in a really safe and compliant way.
And I have a little far out question. We have a little bit of time left. Talking about EV routing and stuff, I get to report on autonomy. I'm assuming there's a treasure trove of potential future information because you have autonomous trucks with tons of sensor arrays. And if they feed into a platform, I can get real time updates on traffic conditions and everything through them just having eyes everywhere.
Correct. I think we're a little bit off still from full autonomy, but yes, that's 100% where we are going, right? It's kind of that's also already how you can leverage our service as of today. So if you know the whereabouts, right, in terms of the vehicle, and then leveraging our routing, our traffic, our engines, our tracking engines as well, in terms of where you're going, to make sure that you stay on track, and then also make sure that you comply with your regulations on the job.
And random question as well here. I'm thinking when we're looking at data sets, you're incorporating like traffic cameras and other types, because I'm assuming the capabilities nowadays is where, let's say I have two trucks running the same route from like Paris to Amsterdam. The first truck closer to Paris starts getting stuck in traffic, and then the cameras are picking it up. Does that mean that I have the potential for my later inbound truck to reroute and take an alternative one? Is that kind of where we're at for folks who may not be familiar with how much routing has progressed from just, hey, pick up from point A, follow this road to point B?
Correct. So in general, yes, right. So we are leveraging a lot of vehicle probe data and also mobile phone data in order kind of to pick up kind of where the delays are happening, and then incorporate that and then in real time into our updates as well, like traffic, real time traffic, right? And kind of that also give you then even into truck specific traffic. Really details in terms of the delay, and if you then utilize these services, you're able to then also in near real time make sure that you can also reroute, right, if certain traffic jams are happening along the road. It also depends a bit which applications you're using, right? So I just referred to WeGo Pro. If you're using WeGo Pro, that includes also real-time traffic, real-time updates, truck specific also regulations. Make sure that you even get proactive messaging through such an application if a certain delay on the route is happening. So you get then also alerted, hey, there might be a 5 minutes faster alternative route or deviation. Are you willing to take that? Yes or no, before even you're hitting that traffic jam.
Oh man, I can imagine the use cases where, hey, You have 2 hours left and you just found a traffic jam that's going to take 3 hours. Here's a truck stop nearby. I wish I had this stuff when I started out. I'd have a lot more hair at the moment. This is really cool how the technology works. Folks want to learn more about here, get in touch, check out the products. What's the best way folks can get more information?
Yes, we have our website, here.com. People can check it out. We can also require their request, or just find me on LinkedIn and reach out to me, and I will point you to the right direction.
Perfect. Bart, really do appreciate your time. We're going to have to catch up soon as well, as you all are doing some more releases in the year.
Perfect. Will do for sure. Thank you.
That's going to be a wrap for this show, but if you're just joining us, you can find this on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you can find your podcast. While you're at it, sign up for the Freight Fraud Symposium. It goes out on May the 14th in Dallas, Texas. Don't want to miss it. Have to plug that in. Also, while you're at it, sign up for the Truck Tech newsletter, freightwaves.com/trucktech. It goes out every Friday at 11 a.m. That's a wrap for this episode, folks. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week.